girl. There you go. Okay. Let's get Explorer up. There you go. Good girl. Oh, what a good lady. Let's see. Okay. Come on, load. Up. There you go. Up. Naomi down. Naomi down. Naomi. Hey. Naomi, come here. Naomi. Come on. Down. Naomi down. Down. Oh, you're unsettled. Come on, Nate. Naomi. Naomi, come on. Naomi, it's all right. I know you want to go outside, but come on. Come on, Naomi. Come here. Okay. Stay down. Stay. Good girl. Yeah, there you go. Good girl. Very good. Good girl. That's much better. There you go. All right. I think we're good to start. Yeah. All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Meet the Dog. I'm Chris, and with me today is Naomi. Naomi is from the Tribbles litter, born back in, I believe it was March 2022, if I remember correctly. Her parents were Bianca and Sir Richard. She's a very good girl. She eats twice a day, 3 cups each. I don't have the exact weight, but I think she's around the same size as Emma, so I think she's in that kind of like 110-ish range. She's doing very well in her training right now. The only things that she really kind of needs work on is she has a little bit of a focus issue right now. I noticed couple notes about some head swiveling, that her focus was not fully on the trainers, but I did see a lot of good things about like her downs and her stays, her unders. So she's doing well. I think she just kind of like needs to focus up a little bit. Naomi was definitely one of the harder Tribbles to tell apart. We had like 3 of the Tribbles that were pretty much all solid black. It was her, Jordy, who went out as a perfect pet, and Wesley, who went out as a perfect pet. 3 of them were pretty much completely solid black. Wesley, at the very least, had a little like white spot on his nose. But her and Jordy I called the twinnies because they looked pretty much identical. The only way I could tell them apart was, 1, if I looked underneath, or 2, Jordy had 2 little black spots on his paw. So if we ever fed them together, I would have to look at their paws to see which one of them had the spots. So let's see. So I'm going to open it up to some questions about Miss Naomi. She's distracted. She can see Karen walking around outside, so I think she wants to go see what she's doing. Is she turning one of the pups, huh? Alright. Any questions about Miss Naomi? And I'll try to think of some of the usual questions in the meantime. Right now, she's currently on Donkey Hill. We currently have all the adults over on the Donkey Hill side of kennels right now. She is in, I believe she's in kennel 14, next to Davis and Wallace. She gets along pretty well with all the boys. Girls, it's a bit iffy. I've put her with Emma before, and they've kind of gotten along, but not well enough that I would continuously do it. It's kind of like definitely like a once in a while thing. I would have to keep an eye on them. Barb V asks, does Sweet Naomi ever get into any mischief? Out of all of her siblings, I think she was one of the ones that got into the least amount of mischief. At least she definitely nothing that like I can clearly think of off the top of my head. Whereas like Riker had all the climbing over fences, and Tasha had all the trying to avoid recalling. So Spock kind of had his whole fence fighting thing. Naomi, I don't think she really had much that I can't really, nothing really like memorable that she did. At least that I can remember. She was one of the better behaved ones. Crafty asks, who are her friends? I mentioned it earlier. But she does get along pretty well with everyone. I've started putting her with the puppies a bit more and more. So Derby, Dawes, Alfred. Really, I was trying to put her with Dawes for a while because Dawes kind of grew to be a bit of a bully. So I tried putting her with him with her for a bit because she has a tendency to put boys in their place a little bit. So I'm hoping that maybe he learned some manners from her. I think it actually might have worked. He calmed down a bit after playing with her a few times, though that could have just been age. Crafty also asks, how is she on overnights and transit? I don't know about transit. She has been on a few different overnights, though. A lot of them were when she was a bit younger. But I only heard good things about those overnights. She did very well on the few that she has gone on. I mentioned it earlier that I have put her with Emma before, and they kind of got along. I don't think they get along well enough that I would take her for an overnight myself. I think if they were together too long, I think they would probably start to get sick of each other pretty quickly. But she has been on a few, and it sounds like the ones that she has been on, she did pretty well. So, but transit, I'm not too sure about. I didn't see any notes about her being on any public transit recently. RV asks, do you think she's more of a leader or a follower? I would say she's a bit more of a leader. She can get pretty sassy with the boys. And even with the other girls, she through the fence, she can be a little spicy. So I think she's a bit more of a leader. Barbie asks, what's something you love about Naomi? That's I mean, there's a lot to love. I would go with. And I know I say this about a lot of the dogs, but it's something I really love about all of them. Is that when I go to put her fluffies in the evening, she likes to come up into the loft with me and curl up with me. Really just kind of cuddle with me. She's a very sweet girl, and I love that. She's definitely, of the Tribbles, she's definitely one of the more quiet ones, which is also nice. She's not as talkative as the rest of her siblings. The rest of her siblings are very talkative. She was one of the more quiet ones. Though I think she's probably, this out of all of them, she's probably one of the more spicy ones. Let's see. Crafty asks, what type of recipient do you think she would work with? I think she could work pretty well with anyone. She's got a pretty good temperament. So I don't think she needs anyone too experienced. She's also... trying to think of it. I don't want to get her up to check her size right now. I just got her to lie down. I'm trying to think of her size in relation to her siblings. I think she's a good mid-sized dog, though, so I think height-wise she could probably fit a lot of people. So I think really she'd be good for pretty much anyone, just based on her temperament and her size. Right now, the only issue she's having with her training is her focus. So depending on how well that is kind of tempered by the time we get her out, she may end up needing someone a bit more experienced, but I just think with how well she's doing, I think that's not going to be, I think by the time we get her out, that's not even going to be an issue anymore. So really, I think she just do well with pretty much anyone. Very good temperament, good height. Hi. Hello. Hello. How's it going? Crafty asks, how is she at meals? She's good. She never really gives us trouble. She's a good eater. He always eats at a good pace, never too fast, too slow. I think there was a while where they all do this, where they go on food strike for a bit. I think she was one of the ones that did that. But beyond that, she's usually great at her waiting. Her pace with eating is always good. Never really aggressive or curious about the other dog's food. Let's see. RV asks, what kind of an adventure do you think she would like to go on? I think for Naomi, I could see her liking like a quiet hike. I think she would enjoy that. I think Naomi would enjoy like a nice quiet hike in the woods. I think that's the kind of adventure that suits her. I think that would suit a lot of them. Our Danes are typically on the quieter side. The Poppins litter are pretty rambunctious, but they're basically teenagers right now, so they might mellow out a bit. But I think she would really do nicely. It was just a nice, quiet walk through the woods. I think she would really enjoy that. A lot to sniff, a lot to run around and see. I'm going to give it a couple more minutes for any last-minute questions, and then we're going to sign off for the day. What are you doing? What would she like to tell you right now? I think she wants me to let her outside. She's really sniffing around. She was really sniffing at the door flap earlier. She's looking outside. I think she wants to go see what... I see Karen out with one of the pups right now. I think she wants to go check that out. Isn't that right? Or you just don't want to be in the puppy room right now? It's been a while since you've been in here, actually. When was the last time you were in here? It's been a while. I can't remember. Sassy Belle asks, does she have a favorite trainer or does she share her sweetness with all? I don't think she has a favorite. I know some of them do have like a couple of favorites, like Tasha gets really excited when Lynn or Amy are around. So there are definitely dogs that play favorites. I don't think Naomi is one of them. She seems to be pretty good with all the trainers. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I don't. No. I think she's pretty sweet on everyone. I got one last question here, and then we're gonna sign off. This is from Barb V. How do you think she would do with a cat? I think on the overnights that she has been on, I think one or two of them she was with a cat, and she did. I heard she did very well. So she would do very well with a cat. In general, our dogs tend to do very well with cats. There have definitely been a few recipients that have cats, or even when we take them home for overnights and even just medical leave for like their spays and their neuters. I know a few of us have cats, and they tend to do well even then. Obviously, it's something we like to test before putting them out. Something that we can't always test, but it's nice to test them, just because in case someone does have a cat, you want to be ready for that. But in general, they all do pretty well, and Naomi was no exception. So she does do she did very well with cats. All right, that is all the time we have today. Thank you very much for tuning in. I hope everyone had a good holiday, and I hope you all have a good new year. I will talk to you all next year. Until then, everybody take care. Hi, yeah, no, we're going now. Let me do this real quick.